I think I'll just say that I'm really moved actually by the kind of resonance across this table, and I think across this whole room, about the desire to do things. I mean, so often we look at people and we judge their motivation, and we really don't know what their motivation is, but what I'm hearing is so much that our motivation is the same. It's about safety, it's about dignity, it's about making a different world that we want to live in. So one of the things that I would say, I would reiterate, I love that story about that you stood on the corner of the Basilica, and granted, when people leave after hearing a homily about Lazarus and the rich man, you can't but give money. It's so hard. But what I'm trying to say is try and resist that, because it is addictive. Going back to my friend, it is addictive when you give money, when people get money, they're not going to stop. So I really have moved, and this is a personal transformation for me, to say, don't give money. And then I think we have to continue to work together. I'm incredibly excited and grateful for the partnerships between the businesses, the neighborhoods, the faith communities, the people in the community who can educate us. And we need to keep doing this together and build this groundswell and let people know what are the things that that make a difference. What are the things going on in the legislature. So don't give money, continue to build relationships with one another and with the people in the community who are panhandling, and then advocate.
Stephen and Fred, any thoughts?
I'm not shy, but I do have one last thought that I want to leave, and that's that even though we disagree on certain things, I agree that we can disagree, and that's okay. But that's what makes us individuals, and I really believe that we're all on the same team because we really want to make this city and this world a better place. And so my thoughts and my feelings are that I appreciate the allies that I have around me on the stage with me that I didn't even think for one moment that would be allies in my life, especially the police. And that's a beautiful thing. And so we can walk away and be happy and know that we're a part of change, because change is inevitable, just as inevitable as death is. And so we're still living, so we still have an opportunity to be better.
I guess one takeaway I have is that I'm going to try to spend time around people who don't think like I do more. I spend a lot of time around people who think like I do. And it's really helpful for me to be around people and hear about safety and about economic development and about the time spent by police officers when I'd rather they be fixing my poor neighborhood or things like that. And I think by all of us spending more time talking about this subject with people who don't think like we do, we might come up with better answers.
The only thing I would add is this is messy, and that's obvious, but an invitation for us to be tolerant and maybe patient about that messiness. And again, I think the gift here is that we're forced to address these issues, which we need to address. And it's maybe a radical thing to call it a gift, but the fact that we're all here wrestling with this, I think, is a good thing. So let's be patient with the time it takes and continue to persevere on this task.
Well, thank you very much. Anyone else? Thank you, Herb.
I'd just like to say one more thing. When I was in college, there was a girl in my dorm room who was we thought she was just so weird. And she would only come out at night, and we would make fun of her, not to her face, but constantly. And we finally found out that somebody from her hometown came and said, you know what, she was locked in a closet for almost her entire childhood, whenever she wasn't at school. And that changed my life. Because all I saw was a symptom of why that she was just so weird. But I had no idea what she's been through. So when I see homeless people, I look at them and I say, what happened to this person? What was her childhood like? What's her life been like that has brought them to this crossroad? And I can't judge them for where they're at because I don't know where they've been. And I hope that we all feel that same compassion. Because I have regretted making fun of that young woman for my whole life.
You should now have all received two pieces of paper. One is a get involved sheet, and the other is a way to connect with downtown congregations to end homelessness in a variety of ways. So if you want to tear off the yellow piece and leave it at the tables out here, we will be in touch. But there are, I think one of the things that is difficult is knowing what to do. And so here are at least some suggestions about what to do. I have the joy of having the last word as an associate pastor. And I guess my last word is to think systemically about the issues that we've talked about. We are facing an election. There will be many new state legislators and constitutional officers. The importance of getting to know the people who are elected to represent you, whether you voted for them or not, is really crucial. The role of advocacy, of contacting your elected officials about public policy, that's a part of the answer to who's going to pay for all this stuff. And it was fascinating that the two people who talked about taxes were both from downtown businesses, saying, we've got to fund this to be who Minnesota is. And I won't turn this into a political speech, but you will all have a state legislator and a state representative, and you will have constitutional officers. Take seriously the role of advising them. If you would like to sign up to get action alerts